she out yet? Where's she at? There she is.
Yes, there's Mimi. There's Mimi. Woo!
Say what about me, your son?
Well, you know, you're next in line. You're definitely not last.
No, that's
Butter, butter!
Hi, Butter Boo Boo.
Hey, Bubbers. Hi, Bubbers.
And then see, he can't get out. Look at those little arms.
He's my big boy. I love you. I'm so glad to see you all.
Bye, buddy. Tell Dada bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Chason. Bye, Layla.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
I'm headed off on my first solo trip. No, this is not really an RV trip. This is more of a I've got to get some more repairs done trip. Whenever we left Mount Rushmore, the plan was to slowly work our way over towards Iowa and get this repair done. But Laine's family, her grandparents, her grandpa actually, had fallen and he'd been in the hospital. And so Laine was wanting to get back earlier to see them and help them out in any way she could. So when we left Mount Rushmore, we came straight to Missouri instead of going to Iowa to get the repair done. And so now I'm leaving Laine and the kids behind here in Missouri, and I'm soloing it up to Iowa to get this repair done. I've got almost 8.5 hours of driving, so I got to get on the road. Well, I finally made it after about 8.5 hours of driving from southern Missouri into the middle of Iowa. So where am I? Well, I drove all the way up here to HWH. If you own a motorhome, you're probably very familiar with HWH. They're the ones who manufacture all the components, pretty much for every single brand of motorhome, for your jacks, your slides. If you've got a motorhome, I guarantee you've got HWH products in your motorhome. So why did I drive all the way up here? Well, because just like on the Cat motor, I want somebody who knows the parts. And who better else to take the motorhome to than the people who actually make these parts and know them inside out. I didn't want to take it to somebody and them try to guess or try to figure out what was going on, kind of like what happened with our engine where I had somebody guessing. I don't think that's going to happen here. I believe these people know exactly what they're doing. But let me show you why I brought it up here. So right here is issue number 1. So I started to notice that when the slide would go out and come in, that it started to break our flooring. More than going out, it was actually more of the coming in. It was when it break it. Whenever it would go in, this metal piece here was dragging across the floor and catching it somehow. I don't know how, but it would catch the floor and start to buckle it until it would just basically rip apart. Same thing here. This piece here goes here, and it just tore it off. And so I've got it there because I can glue it back. It's not broken or anything. And it's also happening over here. A chunk there was taken out, and a chunk over here was taken out. And so that was a pretty good indicator to me that something wasn't quite right with the slides. So I went outside and started looking around, and here's what I found. See this bolt? You know, I don't know if it's supposed to be bent, but it's always been bent. There's one on the opposite side that is also bent, but not just bent, but this one's also broke. You can see how it's broke right down there. Also, right here, it's buckled. And I also noticed that when the slide would come all the way in, right up here where it's supposed to be flush, it would really not get all the way flush. Maybe a 1/2 inch is where it would go and it would stop. So here's the other side, and you can see too that this bolt is also angled a little bit, but it's not as severe as what the one on the other side is. And this one's also not broke. This one also doesn't have this piece here that's kind of bent. Now my rear slide is having no problems at all. It works flawlessly. Now a motorhome slide is a little bit different than what a fifth wheel is. The motorhome slide, at least on ours, and a lot of the older ones are made this way, is the slide goes out and then drops down. You'll see it just slides across the floor and then it drops. And when it drops, it makes a horrible sound. And so I'm sure with it doing that over time, it's wearing out some of those parts, like the bolt or that other thing that's kind of bent. Based on what I know, that something's not right. And I want the company, HWH, to be the ones to fix this. So to me, it was worth driving the 8+ hours up here by myself to spend the night. And they do have hookups here. They just have power. There's no water, no sewer, nothing like that. And also just to let you know, I called them all the way back in early August to set this appointment. So a month later was about when they could get me in, especially in the summertime when it's the busiest time of year for the RV industry. You're going to be waiting and you're going to have to schedule appointments way out in advance if you want to get any work done. The other thing that was happening was the slide was going out, but coming in, it wasn't coming in very fast and it was starting to be slow. A couple of times I actually had to go out and push it while Laine was holding the retract button down. And of course, my jack, my front driver side jack is not retracting. Or is it? No, I'm sorry. It's my passenger side jack that's not retracting anymore. So what I want them to do and what they're going to do for me tomorrow is they're going to fix the slides issue and they're going to fix my jack issue. And I also don't think that my leveling system, right here is the leveling system. Don't like this microphone. But this is a leveling system and I don't feel like it gets me completely level based on the lighting. And so I'm going to have them also mess with the sensors on this thing to get me to where it's actually leveling properly and I don't have to get my level out to make sure I'm actually level. Well, good morning everybody. So last night wasn't too bad. I did not pull out our couch. I actually just slept on the dinette area. It was already out into a bed because that's where we've been putting Gabriel down of a night. So I slept on that and it really wasn't that bad. So I've got me some coffee made. I got me another peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Listen, when Laine's not with me, I don't eat very well. I think I had a bacon and cheese sandwich last night and my second peanut butter and jelly that I've made. I told her last night, I said, you spoil me when it comes to food. I'm horrible at it. I'm horrible at cooking. I'm horrible at just making myself something good. I just want something fast if I'm doing it myself. I don't take the time to prepare anything. Anyway, so I got me a peanut butter and jelly, got me a Cliff Bar. I got about 9 minutes before I need to be over there, so I'm gonna get everything packed away, drive over there. My appointment's right at 7 o'clock this morning, so hopefully this won't take too long, but we'll see. So my front jack on the passenger side hasn't worked in months. I get here and it works. But it's not working as fast as what the other one is. The other one's down already and this one's not. So there's definitely something wrong, but they're going to check it out. Well, let's see what time it is. Almost 4 o'clock. Just settled up my bill. It was like $970, which ain't bad, I don't think. $90 an hour. And they replaced a lot of components on the slide. As far as for my jack, all it was a solenoid issue. So when I pull out of the shop, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out and then I'm going to show you guys what they replaced. Wow, that was a big difference. Used to it would make this big like crash, metal sounding. This time it was very smooth, went out and just lowered, no thumping, no metal grinding, which always was what it sounded like before. This one, very smooth now. Okay, so I left the coach running because I've got to bring the slide back in. So what they've done was they replaced this main bolt. This was the one that was broken. And then it was also bent right here, which looks like they fixed that. They also put in new, I don't know if it's a shim or what it is, but it's just this rubber piece that this bar is supposed to slide across. Those were completely worn out. And on the back side, again, they put in a new bolt. Also, right here, this piece right here was completely snapped and broke. So what they had to do was they had to completely take out this whole slide, and then this whole piece right here is all brand new. Before, this didn't really sit flush. See how it's really sucked up tight now? Before, it was probably out a good ½ an inch from really being all the way in. So I'm excited. When you spend a lot of money on an RV or a truck or a home or whatever it is, you're gonna have to make an investment into improvements. That's just a given. It's just part of, no matter what type of lifestyle you have, you're gonna spend money on making improvements to those assets. Even though an RV or a vehicle is not a really good asset, but you still gotta make improvements to them. Laine asked me earlier, she said, how much do you think it's gonna cost? And I said, probably about $1,000. And she's like, ugh, and I'm like, well, you know what? Whenever we decide to sell this someday, I want whoever's gonna buy it to know that we've made the changes that needed to be changed or fixed, and that this coach is right and that there's no problems. It's gonna be a peace of mind for us to know that as we travel, that I'm not gonna have to be dealing with this or the jacks anymore, and that, you know, knowing that things are done right, that whenever it does come time to sell it, hopefully we can get a little bit more money out of it than opposed to it actually needing work done. Okay, enough rambling. I got 8 hours of driving. I'm ready to get home. I miss my kids, I miss Laine, so all right, I'm not gonna probably do too much vlogging on the way home, so see you when I'm there.